Hi everyone, welcome to episode 13 of Codependent Knitters.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. If you are just joining us, thank you for checking us out and welcome. And welcome back to everyone who has watched us previously. And thanks for coming back. This is Lisa, my friend Lisa.
And this is my friend Dawn.
And we are just friends who knit.
We're actually the codependent knitters.
We are the codependent knitters.
And we have a problem. It's important that we recognize that. But we love it.
We enable each other.
Yeah. It's a mutual friendship.
Yeah.
So what do you want to start with today?
Well, I think we need to celebrate.
I know.
We, over the holidays, we hit over 1,000 subscribers.
I think I've been driving her crazy because
she keeps sending me.
I'd take pictures of the list and how many subscribers, and I'd text it to her and she'd be, stop it.
Stop.
So yeah.
Yeah. So we have 1,076 as of this morning.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Uh-huh. And 199 people in our Ravelry group, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I didn't check Instagram followers.
You know what? It was kind of shocking because I realized suddenly that I wasn't just talking to my mom.
I know.
And
when we met, which was in probably April, May. We started
before that.
No, we started right at the
ago.
end of May. No, it wasn't. It was only 1 year. We haven't hit our anniversary yet.
Oh, for the podcast?
Not when we met each other.
Okay, I'm sorry. When we met.
Just listen.
Okay.
When we met to plan the podcast, I needed to clarify that. When we met to plan the podcast back in April-ish of 2017, we sat down. We just talked about, what could we do? What do we want to do? What kinds of things do we want to talk about in our podcast?
It'll be fun, she said.
Oh, let's just try it. We never had any goals about, growing it or having subscribers. It was just, I didn't even think about that because we really didn't even know how that all worked. Like, I had no clue how having a YouTube channel worked.
It's a lot more fun than I thought.
It's way more fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's not work. It's time.
No.
But it's not like hard work. Although I had a quick, fast learning curve on video editing and uploading, and there's a lot of things I could probably do better. But it's just a lot of time. And then once you get into having a Ravelry group and Instagram and meeting people and then keeping up with what they're doing, I used to get lost on Pinterest. Like,
I don't even go on Pinterest.
I hardly ever go on. I used to though. I used to get lost on Pinterest, then Ravelry, and I would spend like hours on Ravelry. And now,
oh, you mean like it'd be like
just
a
looking
time
at
black hole?
Yeah. Like just get sucked into it, right? And before you know it, like half your life has gone by, and
or the alarm clock's going off to get up.
and I don't even do that as much anymore. Like staying on top of our social media and anything related to the podcast, I do that a lot more.
Yeah.
And I have to actually make myself go look at, what are the patterns trending on Ravelry right now? Because I haven't been watching. So it's been a lot of fun and a lot of learning. This has made me make me knit more and try a lot of new things.
Yes.
Not for the sake of the podcast, but because we're doing a podcast and
it inspires you.
Yeah, exactly.
And motivates you.
And watching other podcasts. Like watching other podcasts, I see things, I'm like, I want to try that.
Well, even Noelle and I were talking, and it's funny because you learn so many little tips and tricks that you never would have known before.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. So we're not an expertise podcast. We are just people who knit, who love to talk about knitting and share what we're doing and what we've learned. And we hope it's
codependent friends.
With our codependent friends. So we hope it's entertaining and informative, but we just want to have fun.
So what we're going to do with our
subscriber giveaway.
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to do a subscriber giveaway, and we knew we were getting, recently, we never knew we would get 1,000 subscribers so soon, but when we realized, hey, like we're starting to increase, we started planning a giveaway. So if you watched in September, when Lisa and I went to the Kitchener show, I made us some special bags. And mine's way over there. Did you bring yours?
I didn't.
We're not even using our own special bags.
I am at home.
I made us some special bags with some fabric that I got that I could only find a couple of fat quarters. So
actually, the reason is it's our colors. I love gray, and she loves the tealy blue.
So this was the bags. This is what our bags looked like with the handle, though. Okay, so our colors, the ARoys, the gray, sheep, and I love this little bottom pattern.
It's beautiful.
So I had just enough fabric to make a bag for each of us. And I think I made us needle keepers.
Yes.
And those were special ones that I made for us to take to the Kitchener show. So I had enough fabric left to make just a few more. So this is it. I had to like eke out every inch of the fabric I had left to make these. So this is the giveaway prize. So there is my medium-sized bag.
I'll hold this.
With the little sheepy Progress Keeper. I need to just mute my phone because I don't know what's going on today. And a notions pouch.
Yeah.
And this is a good size notions pouch. You can fit a lot of stuff in here, and you can still fit it in here with some skeins of yarn. Okay. And I found just enough of a scrap left to make a needle keeper as well. Can you hold all that, please? And make it look nice. So this is the prize. But that's not all. For a limited time, we're adding on a few things. So you want to talk about those?
I bought these little spiralless safety pins that I've been using for markers because you can take them out and you can lock them.
Yeah.
And I get fed up with all the plastic ones that break, and I am on an adventure to cut plastic out a little bit. Mm-hmm. So there's these.
Do you want to take one out and show it? They're the little locking Progress Keepers needle stitch markers. So they will fit around a needle up to probably a size of 5, 5.5, because I was using them on 5s last night. So it's this little kind. Oh, I have terrible fingernails today. I know. It's these little guys, and then you can open and close them. I got to put it in front of your face so there's a background. You can open and close them at the bottom. So they're awesome. They're lightweight. You don't even know they're there. And if you drop a stitch, you can open it up and loop it through a stitch. So you know what? If you're working on a project, like I clipped about 3 of them, just clipped them onto my project. So I had them handy in case I needed one.
I just found I've used them a lot, and I'm really, really super happy with them.
So you bought a bunch of those, and you're sharing them.
I bought a bunch of them, and yeah, I'm sharing them.
Awesome. So
I
we're
have this
throwing
big
that
mason
in.
jar. Yeah, so I'm throwing this in. It's unfortunately the only thing I could put it in, find to put it in, was a recycled Dave's tea.
Reuse, repurpose.
I know.
It's perfect
so it's
size
kind of
tin.
cool,
Why
and
not?
it fits into your
fits in the notions pouch.
notion pouch.
Awesome.
Yay! So yeah,
Yeah.
there also will be
There's going to be some extras, surprise extras.
surprise
There
extras.
will be a ball of sock yarn.
Yep.
Enough to make like 100-gram ball of sock yarn.
There you go. Or 250.
Probably some other little goodies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll surprise you on the rest of it. So, in order to enter to win this giveaway, because this is a subscriber giveaway for our YouTube subscribers, we're going to do it on YouTube. So we talked about this, and we want you to comment under today's episode. So if you watch YouTube and you've never commented before, below the video there's a comment section, and you can just click to add a comment. And I think it says add public comment, because if you don't enter it public, then I don't know, can we even see it?
Not always.
Yeah. So make sure it's a public comment, so then it's just easier to see your comment and include you in the giveaway candidates.
And if you subscribe privately, we're not privy to that information.
Yeah. So that's a setting in your own settings. Yes. So we want you to comment. Just tell us something that you liked or found of value in today's episode. All right. So watch today's episode, leave us a comment, and we will draw for that before our next podcast. Yeah. And then we'll announce it on the next one.
When you're commenting, you don't write the word giveaway.
Yeah.
Because there's some technical things at YouTube. So just no giveaway, just leave a comment.
Well, it's I've heard from other podcasters that there are like trolls, because they unfortunately exist everywhere, and if they see the word giveaway, I don't know if they can search, whatever happens, and then they go and like enter and just like spam your channel. So we want to keep it fair and keep it to our subscribers. So just comment something, leave us a comment about something you liked about today's episode. And you'll be entered. Perfect. So you don't have to say it's for the giveaway, just enter a comment. Okay, that's our excitement to start us off.
Okay.
We were going to do a quick, we should recap. We haven't recorded since Christmas.
I know.
So we each had a bit of a nitty Christmas. A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first. I like yours because I kind of feel guilty.
Well, it wasn't a whole lot. I had on my wish list a set of Lykke needles. And I got them. My husband bought these for me. He got them at Feather Your Nest here in Sarnia. And you can see there's some gaps because I'm already using them. Do you want to show it? So, do you want to go up close? I'm sure everyone's seen these because I'm late to the party and every podcaster, like lots of people have them. I personally, 5 of our friends have them. So, it's a really nice case. I'm not sure why this flips down. And then there's Velcro here.
I'm not sure.
But this came with 12 sets of tips, I think. Maybe.
I don't know why you would need to look at them like that, but...
Yeah. And then there's a pocket.
Yep, and there's a pocket on the back.
A nice pocket here to keep your supplies.
I really like that case. It's nice.
It's a nice case. It's like a faux suede finish.
Mm-hmm.
And the set came
denim
with...
That one's denim.
5 cords.
Mm-hmm. 2
24s, 2 32s, and a 40-inch.
Mm-hmm.
No 16-inch. However, I know the short tip set would have it. Like it's awkward with the 16-inch anyways. With the longer tips.
You don't normally use the longer tips with the 16-inch.
I can just get it. Like I can knit with
yeah.
it, but it's tight, and I always feel like I'm just bending that cord a bit too much. But it came with 12 sets of tips. So price wise, I think they retail like $140 to $150.
Mm-hmm.
However, the set of Knitter's Pride Dreams, the wood set I have, it did not have 12 sets of tips. It might have had 10, 8 to 10.
But even if you just break it down, well, 150 divided by 12 is really not that expensive.
$10 a pair?
I mean, yeah. But yeah, it's like a little more than $10 a pair.
Well, my Knitter's Pride set.
I love it. And it comes with that amazing case.
My Knitter's Pride set was, I think, around 120 to 130 retail.
But I know that when I got my Harmonies, the set, the case it comes in is
plastic. It's a plastic vinyl clear. I mean, I like it, but it's just it's not nearly as nice.
This one here, for me, it's pretty and it's good value.
I'm just
for
saying
your money,
it's the same.
Nice.
It's equal because you get more. It's a nicer bag. So when you look at for $20 more, you're getting extra tips and a beautiful bag, and it's comparable. It's comparable. So if you're buying an interchangeable set. You may not want to invest in a set like these or even the Knitter's Pride. Like may not want to spend that much until you've tried some of them because you can buy them individually and give them a try. And if you like them, then an interchangeable set is so awesome to have.
Yes.
Yeah. And it has been said that you can use these. They will fit the Knitter's Pride cords.
The cords.
They absolutely do. Yeah. I used a 16-inch with them. I'm probably someday going to buy the short tip set. Because not a lot of them come in short tip sets. I mean, the Knitter's Pride does, but not everyone stocks them. And I've already bought a few sizes of the Knitter's Pride short tips individually. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy another set because, and if I'm going to, so I thought, maybe I'll buy another set of driftwoods in the short tips at some point. Not in any hurry, but yeah. So I was thrilled to get these for Christmas. And again, Feather Your Nest in Sarnia carries them. I know a lot of other yarn shops in Ontario carry them. So, just check with your local yarn shop or anyone who has an online shop. And what?
Nothing. I'm just glad you got them.
I am too. I love them. I'll talk about it when I talk my FOs that I use them for, or I can talk about it now. I really like them. They're a little bit smoother smoother knitting than my Knitter's Pride Dreams would, but not exceptionally better. They're similar.
The tip is not as sharp as my Harmony needles. Because my Harmony needles, if I'm doing color work, actually will hurt my finger.
Okay.
So, it's because I do the two-handed.
I have both handy, so I'm just going to... Now, though I don't have your Harmony. Those are
Knitter's
the Dreams.
Pride. But it's a longer and skinnier tip. I like the...
So these are pretty much the same. In terms of where the tip starts to taper.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Maybe this is like a millimeter longer.
No, because look
where they start to taper.
I know, but
it's pointier.
It's pointier.
Thinner.
It's thinner.
These have a slightly thinner tip.
Yeah, it's long. It starts at the bottom and gets thinner. This is more of a blunter tip. That's what I'm saying.
They have a beautiful join, a beautiful, and I love that they have the size
That's one of my favorite parts.
Engraved, so it doesn't wear off like these.
One of my favorite.
These are color coded, so you do, when you use them after a while, you do get to know, okay, the green ones are my, you know, whatever. My black ones are 4.5 because I use them a lot. But it wears off, so if you're not sure, then you got to go look for a sizer. So I love that because it's right there for you to see. Like I said, a beautiful joint. And this is actually attached to the Knitter's Pride 16-inch cable. So they fit perfectly. The joint is good. And they tighten with a key the same way as the Knitter's Pride system works. So similar in terms of how the set comes together. But yeah, they were really nice. I really like them. I haven't done like a scientific comparison where I put the same size with the same yarn and sort of tested each one and see how it feels. Nah. We're not that kind of, I'm not doing a consumer review here, but I am just letting you know that I really enjoy them. And they're very comparable to the Knitter's Pride. I think just a tiny bit smoother. And I also got this mug. I'm having tea today out of my mug. This was also from Feather Your Nest. It was a little set. Came with some hot chocolate. So it's a little nitty mug. There's cables. I love it. It's a good size. I can do a good cup of coffee in here. Today I'm drinking David's tea, Spices Right organic green tea.
Favorite.
And I add a shot of cinnamon mate, which they don't make anymore, but I bought like a big can of it, and I add like just a half a spoon because it's got more caffeine and it gives it a little kick. Just a little bit. And I like the flavor. So cheers. What are you drinking? Tea?
I'm drinking tea, Peach Tranquility. My husband bought me this from...
Now, did you pick that up? Did you get it from
Starbucks? My husband bought me this, and it's actually a mug from Starbucks that you buy at the beginning of the year. And for all of January, you get brewed tea once a day included in it.
So that tea is from Starbucks?
Yeah.
And what was it again?
Peach Tranquility.
That sounds good. I like peach.
So, yeah.
Anything else Christmas? That's all I got that was yarn related, knitting related.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did get one of those little knitting desktop calendar where it's like a pattern day kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had a busy Christmas.
You got yarn.
I got yarn, but you know what else? I got my mother, I borrow her blocking wires all the time, and I borrowed them for Christmas.
I don't mean like, yeah, you do. I mean, yeah, you do. It's great.
They're awesome. And my mom, I showed her how to use them, and she thought that was just so cool. So she bought me those after Christmas because once I did her shawl because I finished that.
Should I get them just to show?
Okay,
we're back. So you've probably seen these by now. However, if there's someone out there that hasn't, then this is a game changer, like time saver.
It's amazing.
It'll take your blocking to the next best level.
So
these are blocking wires,
and they're just small thin wires that you can put through the stitches.
They come in a big tube,
and what you can do is basically stretch them out, and your edges stay straight.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
They're awesome if you have, straight or curved. I use them for the triangular shawls. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Because what you do is, there's different sizes in this kit. They're somewhat flexible, okay? So you weave the end just through stitches along your edge or whatever part you want to block of your garment or your project. And then you can bend them to shape and just sort of pin the wire in place. So you don't have to pin 100 pins along the edge of your shawl. You put the wire in, you maybe pin like 5 or 6, usually the ends, a few in the middle, and you just use the pin to pull the wire back into the shape you want. And it is fantastic. So they are, like, if you're going to be knitting a lot of stuff, you're going to need to block. They're definitely worth it, and they're not expensive. Like, these were about $30 Canadian.
So yeah, I didn't.
And then, to go along with those, because, you know, we all have the little metal T-pins, which are handy. I should mention, the blocking wires are also great if you have a picot edge. You can run them through each picot and then just pull. So you don't have to pin every picot individually. So that's kind of handy too. But these are the Knitter's Pride knit blockers. They're popping up just about everywhere now. I think almost every store carries them. They come in a little box. I could even go for 2 boxes of these if you're doing like a big shawl. But what's nice about them is I call them combs. They're just called blockers, but I call them combs because that's what they look like. So there's 2 sizes. This is the bigger one, and then a smaller one. And you get quite a few in here. Like you can see all the slots. So they all just sit into a foam bottom and pin into the foam bottom in the box. They are like
super sharp.
Super sharp. Like injury causing sharp. They're very, very sharp. So I always poke my fingers and curse, but they work fantastic. So again, you can use them with the wires where you just stick a pin in. They're great for along edges where you just want to put a few.
One of the things I did with those is when I had a really long shawl and I needed 2 of those wires, and you could actually interlock the 2 wires with the comb. Yeah. That worked really well.
Yeah, and just catch both the wires in it. Yeah. Yeah, so they're fantastic. And I can't remember what they typically retail for. But again, great place. You can order them online. You can order them from, I think Mary Maxim carries them. And most yarn shops have them. And the box says revolutionary new blocking tool. Absolutely. They are. So those, you had the pins?
No, I didn't have the pins. That's my next purchase.
Oh, okay. You got the wires.
I got the wires.
You're welcome to borrow the pins. My box is empty because I have 2 things pinned right now drying. But when they're dry, you're welcome to borrow them.
Oh yeah, no,
anytime.
I love them. They were so nice. And then what else? I had kind of a nitty Christmas.
You got yarn.
I got yarn. I got this really great bag.
That looks familiar.
My mom...
This is the big drawstring bag that I made at Christmas time.
My mom ordered it from Dawn.
I have sewing to do in the next 2 weeks, and there will be more drawstring bags. I just started them with the Christmas prints, but there will be more. I've got some new fabrics to use, so...
I like them because the cat hasn't figured them out yet.
Well, and that's it. I made some bigger ones so that you can actually put like a shawl in there.
This is not... Well, you could actually put a sweater in here. Well, my size sweater. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So I got that.
So they're a bit bigger.
And then my mom, unbeknownst to me, bought this for me.
Did she?
At Kitchener. She bought 3 of them.
Nice.
One for me, one for my daughter, and one for her.
Nice. And that's my Evertote.
That's an Evertote. And it's kind of funny because you have the same one over there.
I have the same one. So I bought and this is the mini.
Yeah.
So hold it up. So this is good for one sock. I'll show you that in my WIPs. But this is the mini size. This is probably their regular size.
And this is a medium, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Because my other one's bigger.
So evertote.com. And Evertote is a shop by 2 fabulous ladies, Caroline and Kathy. They are sisters-in-law. And Caroline is also one of the Fiber Friends podcasters. And a stitcher extraordinaire who has... another channel, Off the Grid Needle Arts, and so she talks about that on the Fiber Friends podcast. But it's Off the Grid Needle Arts, and she does 2 stitching videos a week because on Fridays it's Stitch with Me, and it's like just she talks and just does her stitching while she talks with you, and then on usually Sunday, Monday is just a regular one. So if you're a stitcher as well, she's multi-talented and a fabulous bag maker.
Okay, so.
Yarn.
Yeah, I
keep saying yarn and you keep showing other things.
Sorry, I got it was a socky Christmas.
About the yarn.
It's I got this one and this one, which are both they're wide stripes.
Yeah, Wisdom Yarn Pros.
I just thought they were kind of
You don't have one knit up.
I don't. Noelle knit these they're on Instagram. But I saw this one. Funny story. I saw this one and I loved it. And I bought it and then I had to return it because my mom bought me that one. So, yeah. And
so they knit up about probably a 1/2 inch wide stripes.
Yeah.
And
kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then I got this one.
And we got these. These are from...
Those are from Heaven is Handmade.
Which is our local yarn shop in Sarnia.
I got this one.
You got that for Christmas?
I got this for Christmas. My mom bought it for me just after Christmas. And it's merino, nylon, and silk. I'm going to make socks for my dad because my mom bought him... Do you remember those ties at Feather Your Nest? She's got ties at Feather Your Nest that are actually made out of feathers.
They're bow ties.
Yeah, they're bow ties. And my mom bought my dad one. And I thought, I'll make these. I'll get my mom bought this so I can make him socks to match.
Are they like the peacock feathers?
She got the Yeah, he got the peacock one. So there's that.
I don't know. Do these have a colorway? We weren't seeing the colorway. Hidden Lagoon.
Hidden Lagoon.
So Saki Silk, Hidden Lagoon. This is very nice and soft because of the silk content, obviously. And I didn't mention these colorways.
Menswear. This one's called Menswear. That's the pros. It's called Menswear.
This one's under the price tag.
Okay.
Foxy. Woo. That's appropriate.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's this one, which doesn't look like, it's just stripes.
This is just a number, unless that's colorway. Milne. Wisdom Yarns also Stanza. What's the difference between, just the striping?
The striping's different. I don't know what those look like. I'll have to see.
There's no picture on the band.
And then,
That's nice.
I got these for Christmas too. Hedgehog fibers.
Skinny Singles.
Skinny Singles. Mom bought those from Terry.
This is color Cinder.
Cinder, it's gray.
Yep. It's just, it's looking kind of purplish. It's weird really lighting neat. Today.
Actually, no, there is a purple tinge to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. It's kind of cool.
Just barely. Like it's, oh yeah, you can kind of see it. So 2 of these. What are you going to do with these? Do you know?
I don't know. Haven't got a clue.
I mean, those are all obviously socks.
Yep. Dunno.
It's a 1 ply.
So those are not going to be socks.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So, and then I'll show those later.
Okay.
I got this for Christmas. I loved it. Yeah.
Knit Picks Chroma Twist. I like that.
It's kind of neat. I got 3
and some
of those.
pink.
Pink, gray.
Color is Dear Diary.
Dear Diary.
I like that.
Yeah. So
that's really pretty. It's like a bubblegum pink. That's nice.
Yep. So that's it for Christmas.
Okay. Well, I didn't get yarn for Christmas, but there were some dyers that had little sales sort of after Christmas. Actually, one was before Christmas, but arrived after. So I did buy a few things. I treated myself. So the first I ordered was from Yarn Cafe Creations, and I've been watching their podcast for a long time. Christy and Tristan. And they are both amazing dyers, and I've been wanting to try their yarns, and it is really nice yarn. So this is Fluffy Sock Base from Yarn Cafe Creations, fingering, Railcar. It's wild. Look at the colors in there.
That is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I know. I haven't looked to see if anyone's knit with it, just to see how it knits up. Yeah. And then this is, I don't think they don't do self-striping, so this is just going to be random colors. And this is also Fluffy Sock Fingering and Mermaid. It's called Mermaid Mini Skeins. Mini Skirt. Mini Skirt. That makes sense. Mermaid Mini Skirt. And I just thought that looked really cute. I like all the colors in there. So I bought these on sale from Christy. And I have been drooling over Knitting Wolf luxury yarns. So he's in Ontario, and I think he was new to the scene in 2017, I think. And his yarns are all I think they're more from a male perspective. Like they're a lot more,
they're subdued, they're kind of muddy
darker almost metallic-y looking.
Moody.
They're beautiful. Like just beautiful. And so I guess people had asked him about, some brighter colors, and he did do some, but I mean, don't change who you are, do you. And that's what's unique about his yarn is that he's doing colorways that are not in everyone else's lineup, right? Like really different combinations. So
I find that so manly.
They are, and not that you want to stereotype, but for men that don't always want pink and purple and
I like manly colors.
Yeah. So this is it's his MCN. It's a DK, Beware the Night King. And you can see there's some teal. It's very tonal. I'm going to take that off because it's a short skein so you can see all the colors. And like I said, we have wonky lighting in here today. You got to see the teal there. But it's very subtle. And he's got just beautiful, like there'll be dark bronze and gold with blues and teals, like really rich colors. So I'm excited to have that. I don't know what I'm doing with this yet, but it's a DK. So, and that's his label. Isn't that cool? So it's Knitting Wolf Luxury Yarns, knittingwolf.ca.
The colorway content contains 2 favorite colors, silver gray and silver blue. Just like you know who. Thank you for your purchase.
Well, I'm assuming he means the Night King because it's Beware the Night King, which is a nod to Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So yeah, which I'm a big fan of.
Totally missing that because I haven't even watched an episode.
That's winter's coming. Actually, winter is here, both in Sarnia and in Westeros. So the last one was Prairie Dye Studio.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Oh my gosh, I ordered 3 of these. They're beautiful. The colorway is called Riptide.
That one's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
To the actual color.
I'm just wondering if I don't mean to block you, Lisa. No. That's better. Right here.
Yeah.
That's showing the color good right in this spot. Very dark teal. It's tonal. There's some light sections in here. This is merino worsted. Superwash merino worsted. So I've got 3 skeins of this worsted weight, and I bought them to do a worsted weight shawl or wrap, something with some texture. I don't know what yet. I want to do. I'm not going to repeat a pattern I've already done, as much as I love the ones I've done, but it's because of doing Zilver and Jamie shawl with texture.
I like it with I like the tonal with the texture.
Yeah. So because of having done those, I'm really loving the textured shawls. So I want to do another one, and I ordered 3 of these. And I want to do this soon because I want to wear it this winter. So,
well, let's hope
I'll be casting on, you know, because I need to cast on more.
Yeah.
So those were my sort of things that I got over Christmas. Let's talk knitting.
Okay.
FOs. You go first this time. I need to lubricate my throat here.
I bought this. I bought the yarn. It's one of the Cascade Special Effects. Do you remember we bought that at...
Did you buy it at a show?
No, we bought it on the Yarn Crawl. I bought it at...
All Strung Out.
Yes.
All Strung Out in Hamilton.
Guelph.
Not Hamilton. Yeah. Guelph.
So I bought this, and it's... I know, you're all lost.
I've only been in Southern Ontario for 4 years. I was in Manitoba before then, which was like, you know, there was Toronto, and that was it. Yeah. So... So I still am, you know, getting my geography straight.
So I made a hat. It's a cute little hat. I think I'm
going to...
It is super
cute.
It's a standard one. It's 100 stitches, ribbing, and decrease, knit 8, knit 2 together. I mean, it's pretty easy, but I think it really kind of shows the yarn. It does. It looks really cool.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
just a basic.
That's super wash.
Beanie type hat.
Yeah. My daughter loves these. Absolutely. Well, I do too.
She has a lot of. She has a good hat wardrobe because
I know she does. I know. So I also, for Christmas, I did manage to finish my dad's socks, and he loves them. Absolutely loves them. I also finished.
And
my
we don't
mom's...
have them here.
No, I'll have to get it. Yeah, I'll have to get a picture, and then I finished my mom's shawl out of the Peru.
We'll stick pictures of those.
And it's absolutely gorgeous, and she loves it. And I think I have found my sock mojo. Okay.
Awesome, because you kind of lost it.
I lost it. Totally lost it. So I finished these.
So these were whips that you had just sitting for a while, but you pulled them out. You were pre-heel on these, like after Christmas.
Yeah, I was up here.
Yeah, so you had more than half a sock to knit.
So there's those. I finished them, and those are the Arnie
and Carlos.
Arnie and Carlo. Yeah. So I put those on Instagram because I absolutely love them. They're so cool. They're so awesome. Just the way the jacquard goes. And it ends up, I don't think the colors have changed. Because I purchased, my husband and my daughter purchased this color.
That looks similar.
And this color for Christmas. A couple years ago. These are 2 different colors. Yeah. So those, and I love them. But I liked, when these came out, I liked the orange, but I didn't get the orange.
And these are 50 gram balls.
That's the way they were used to be sold. Yeah. And now they're sold
100 gram.
And 100 gram ball.
Now, Lisa, when she does hers were these like patterning yarns, you usually do them one center pull and then one from the outside.
Yeah.
So that
you don't care about
I don't
need it to match, but it can't be like a half match. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't.
Like if you had tried and it was off by
it would drive me crazy.
Then it looks weird.
So if I just my socks do not match, they coordinate.
Yeah,
they get along and they coordinate. Yeah. So one the stripes go one way and then the stripes go the other.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty. Yeah.
And this is a ball
the new one that I got this year. Yeah.
And you bought this one at
Heaven is Handmade, and it's the orange. So I think there's only like 5 colors.
They're getting low on stock. So if you're in Sarnia or want some of this, You can phone them. They don't have online shopping, but they will
ship it
take care of your, take your payment over the phone and ship it to you. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I was pretty stoked about that.
Do they have names or just numbers?
They just have numbers.
Yep, just color numbers.
Just color numbers.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah, so got my sock mojo back because I'm also working on, I basically have a bag where all my socks that I went through when I started and I lost my mojo. So I'm working through that bag, and here is, I tried to stay up. I couldn't do it. So here's my other ones.
She was trying to finish for today.
I wanted to finish.
Were these pre-heel also?
These were pre-heel. They were,
And you typically do 2 at a time?
I usually do 2 at a time. Sorry, I'm in the middle
2 at a time, 2 needle.
Yeah. So it's kind of...
Which she taught me to do.
Yeah, I like it. It's...
And you have a new trick that you posted. Now this one's coming from
not,
1 ball.
Yeah. And no, it's coming from 2 balls. Okay. But I started putting my extra yarn up the sock so it doesn't end up all tangled in my bag. Yeah. I didn't do this one.
So it's handy. If you don't have like little sock sacks or you just want to keep them separate, that's a cool little trick.
Yeah. So it's a
great tip, Lisa.
Thanks. Yeah, so just like that. And then I can grab them and go. And I don't have to worry about cats stealing my yarn because my yarn's there.
And these are vanilla socks.
They're just plain vanilla.
And we were talking about needle size yesterday when we met to knit.
Yeah.
So you use... I'm hungry. I don't know if you heard that. Her stomach just totally growled. You use...
I use a 3.
A 3.0 millimeter needle.
Yeah, or a 3.5.
So... Or a 3.5.
But that depends, yeah. But I'm a very tight knitter. And
I use a 2 to 2.25. And I'm a looser knitter. Yeah. So for me to get tighter gauge, I have to, that's quite a big difference.
It is. It's huge. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So, they're pretty dense. That's the way I like them. But
this is the way I like them, but I wouldn't get this on a 3. I'd have a scarf. Nice. Okay.
So, yeah.
So FOs, those were all your FOs?
That's my FOs. Well, yeah, I got a couple at home, but I left them there.
I finished... Okay, so first I finished a hat for our friend Shauna who visited us on our last episode.
That was cute.
I started and finished it after she left. So I'm going to put a picture in right here. So I knit that hat out of Manos del Uruguay's Serpentina.
Which was quite nice.
Which is beautiful. And the colorway was Malala. This is what's left. I didn't use the full ball. It's a thick and thin, so you can see there's some really fluffy pieces. And it's a cream and gray with bits of yellow, orange, pink, a little bit of bluish gray. And it just looked beautiful.
It looked amazing.
It looked beautiful. I loved it. So beautiful yarn. This was a new addition late 2017 to our yarn shop, to Heaven is Handmade. And it's the first time I've knit with it. Very nice. You know, know, if you've watched before, you know I love Manos yarns. So, yep.
It's nice. I like the one that's white and gray.
Yes. Yeah, I may have to get that and make one. And then pom-pom, I put a fluffy. This is the same one.
What's up, Buttercup?
What's up, Buttercup? What's up, Buttercup 7-1? I'll put it on the screen on Etsy.
That one, do they all have that little button thing?
I think you have a choice. So I ordered some with it's got a little elastic loop. So what I did was...
I love the thought of that.
Yeah. What I did was in the crown of Shauna's hat, on the inside, I sewed just a little button and then pulled the elastic loop through with a crochet hook and just put it over the button. Because you cannot wash these faux fur ones, right? So you can pop that off and have no pom-pom or pop it off just to wash your hat.
That's cool.
They are an awesome price point. She's in Ontario. She shipped fairly quickly. That one. So, and you can order multi-packs and just tell her what colors you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I got a couple of different colors. So this is the other white one, which I have plans for. So I finished Shauna's hat. The pattern was Olive and Jack. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and I meant to show the picture and I didn't. So
that's the one with the cables.
I'll insert a picture here.
Now you have to talk about the back of it.
Oh yeah, so I think I have a picture of that too. I made a ponytail hole at the back of it, not at the top, but I just after the ribbing.
It low.
she wears her ponytails low. So after the ribbing, I think I did about 2 rows.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just did back and forth for maybe 10 rows.
Okay.
And then closed it back up again. A little tricky with the cable.
Yep.
Because you want to make sure you're doing your cable twist on a right side row. And so I think in that very first cable sequence, I had to adjust by 1 row. And then it's alternating cables. So one will twist and then the next one twists and then, you know,
yep.
as you go around, which is really cool. So it's a great pattern. It looks great done. And yeah, definitely that's a great one to add to your library. I also finished this week, I finally finished the toka hat, which is by Louise, Wildflower Wool. She's one of the Fiber Friends.
Yep, that looks nice.
Yeah.
And you did the full hat.
This was a kit. I did the full hat. So this was a kit by the Fiber Friends, their winter kit, which we bought. This was the bag. This is the yarn that Adrian dyed from Old Oak Yarns. And you can see it is an absolutely perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had, which is sitting in my living room, they had a notions pouch that came with the kit this time. And the pattern. There's the notions pouch. So this is what's, I still have, I didn't weigh it, but there's probably close to half the ball left.
Nice. It's
beautiful. And the toka hat pattern, I have a copy here. I have the pattern here. And there is, I had started it shortly after we got the kit. I started it in December. And there was a, there's a section around the hat where just for one section, the twists kind of zigzag. So you can see it in this picture here. The middle picture shows those zigzaggy, the 2 rows that zigzag. It's not difficult, but I kept screwing it up, like more than once. And, you know, going back. And so finally I was only about into the second, like into the, it's a 10-row repeat. I think I was in the second repeat. And I just thought, okay, I keep screwing this up. I don't know what's going on, but I want to finish this. So I actually started over and just did the twists all the way around. I didn't do that zigzag piece. Also, it was, well, I was messing it up, so it didn't look right. But it, I think it would look really awesome on a more solid or tonal color, because it, on the speckled yarn, not speckled yarn, but the multicolored yarn, it, for me, it did kind of get lost a bit. But like I said, I wasn't doing it right, so it didn't even look like a zigzag. So it's a great pattern. The pattern has an option to make a bun hole. Yep. So a messy bun hat or a ponytail hat, or to close up the crown. And I closed it up, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the white pom-pom.
Nice. Yeah. That looks good.
So I just didn't have time to sew the pom-pom on, but I finished it this week because I wanted to be able to show you too, like the detachable part. So yeah, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. That's for me. And then, because I was on a hat roll, I've been on a hat roll for 2 months. I accidentally turned off recording, so we're back. Surprise! So, my next hat. I saw this at Knit Stitch in London. So Suzanne had knit it in her new hand-dyed yarn. Mm-hmm. And I just loved it. So I had sent her a note that I wanted some of the yarn, and she saved it for me.
She brought you 2 to choose from.
Nope. She brought me, this came for a pom-pom. So it's a bulky yarn. Okay. And this is the finished hat. The pattern is the Phaedra hat, and I'll show it in a moment here. I shall show the pattern first. I'm all over the place today. Okay. It's Phaedra by Gudrun Johnson, the Shetland trader. Like, isn't that adorable? Look at this different stitches there. So I'm going to try and do this justice and show you. Because there's sort of 2 sections going on. So this section, and I'm going to put it on the head here so you can see it.
I like the pin you're using in it.
Oh, I'm going to explain that pin. There's a reason for that pin. So on the side here, it's not ponytailed.
It's got a small head.
There's like a garter section, and then it's doing here. It's doing like there's lots of really cool stitches in this. Okay. The yarn was one of a kind from her new yarn that she's dyeing, Yarnbird Studios. This is all I have left. I played a bit of chicken. Multicolored. Look at the colors in this. Okay, I'm going to show it again. Look at that. There's just everything. And the way it's dyed.
What you doing?
I want to pull this out a bit so you can see. the yarn is like, it's not super saturated through the strand. So you get some white in with the color. And it just has this really neat watercolor look. Like, I hope she does more than this, because I think more of this. It's just beautiful. So it gives it a real watercolor look, really subtle. I love it. And she included a little mini skein of this rose color for a pom-pom.
Nice.
Which I may try, but I suck at the chunky pom-poms. They kind of, I can't get them tight enough. So we'll see, because I think it would also look good with the fur. You can't see that.
The fur pom-pom.
Yeah, I have a brown color.
Okay.
Look at this one.
I like that one better.
Yep. Or no, this one.
I like that one.
Yeah. So this pattern is a paid for pattern, and it comes charted and only charted. And with this many stitches, and now that I've knit it, if you tried to read written instructions for one round, it would be a paragraph. Like, you'd be lost. You'd have to highlight every stitch, because the stitches change a lot in a round. So the chart is definitely the way to go. If you have not done chart reading before, it's not there's a few extra stitches in here. Like, there's some increases, decreases, not increases, decreases. Well, yeah, yarn overs. But it's not that hard. Like, it's really well written, really easy to understand. There's not like, the legend is down here. I kind of covered it a bit because I don't want to reveal too much of the pattern. But you just follow the chart across the rows. And so I didn't have a hard time with it at all. But it would have been impossible to read if it had been written. Like, so yeah, just FYI, if you're thinking, yeah, I want to make that, but you don't want to do charts, then I would say, first of all, go for it. Dare, live a little. But if you really don't, then know that ahead of time before you spend the money on the pattern, that it is a charted pattern. Okay. So I get done, and then I'm looking at it. When I was knitting this garter section, every second, like, yeah, so it's a row and then a purl row, right? And there was one row where I had forgotten to do purls, and I had knit it. And so it left like a space, but I was only 2 rows beyond it. So it was 4 stitches. So I fixed them. Did not occur to me to check the other side of the hat, because there's actually, you repeat it twice. Did not occur to me to just check and see. Have you done that somewhere else? Yeah, because, you know.
This should be familiar.
So then it's all finished, and I just cinched up the top, and then I decide to, you know, look at the whole thing, and guess what?
With pride and love.
Look at this nice big gap. I forgot to purl 1 row, and I knit it instead. So I'm going to fix that, because it's a pretty easy fix. I will have to drop, like, come past the decreases. So tear out just to the decreases. And then I can just drop down those stitches once I'm into the purl section. I can just drop the stitches down, purl them, and come back up. So I'm going to fix that, because that's really noticeable. And I know people say, oh, can you see it from 3 feet away? You could probably see this from space. So I'll see it. I'll know it. It's really obvious. And it just disrupts this whole section.
No.
So it's not like a one little stitch that's wrong. It's like a whole piece.
Look at, she's using the pins I gave her.
So I just put the pin there so I'd remember that that's where I have to fix it, and also for podcasting, so I know where to show. So yeah, so I won't be wearing it tomorrow, but I'm gonna fix this right away, because we're supposed to get another cold blast. So it's really cute, hey? And I look terrible. Okay, I'm gonna put it on. I look terrible in hats, but I don't care.
That one's cute on you.
I don't care. It's thick and chunky and warm and colorful. And I'm just going to love it. And it's going to look super cute with whether I do a pom-pom or the faux fur. Either one. I think the fur, because it's in right now. And if I do the button method.
Then you can always take it off.
Does this one have elastic? Nope. I can sew elastic onto it and make my own. So. Okay. So, that's the end of my hats. I think. Do I have any more hats? WIPs, because the next best thing to an FO is an almost FO.
Right? I like that. It's an almost FO.
Oh wait, no. We'll redo that. Seriously.
You know what? I totally get it. There's something in the air
today. I have dropped. I cut most of it out by now, but I have dropped needles probably 5 times since we've been recording, and it's driving me crazy. And
it's been one of those days.
I want to explain. I wanted to talk about this. So I wanted to talk about this because it's new to me, and I just thought of it. I didn't like read it, see it anywhere. Put that on my neck. I was knitting a hat, and you know, I did it on Shauna's hat. I was knitting a hat and using the 16-inch cord, and it is just like you can get the tips to meet and knit with them, but it's just it's not totally comfortable, right? And it was bugging me. So I had another needle, same size, and I thought, I'm just going to knit with the other needle. I have many times knit with 2 needles. So you do like half the stitches, like you do with a 2-needle sock. Because I've done that many times. So I was doing the big chunky hats like that because they're just so big. Especially when you get to the decreases. I just use 2 needles. I don't use DPNs for hats. So I just do knit with 1 needle and then knit the other half the stitches with the other needle. So I was about to do that, and then I thought, why don't I just keep going with the same needle? So it's kind of hard to explain without it live, but what happened was, let's say I have my needles all my stitches were on 1 needle, right? So I get to the beginning of my round, start knitting with a different needle. Cable length does not matter. No magic loop. I just knit all the way around with 1 needle. Then this one's free.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, you're going to have if you have a long cord, then you just can pull out the loop, but I knit all the way around. Or if you have 2 that are the same length, perfect. Then this one just freed up, knit the next round with this needle. Okay. This one comes loose. So you just alternate.
That's a neat idea.
So who cares about cord length? A lot of people hate magic loop. I don't love it because it's annoying to move the loop. So if you have 2 16-inch cables, the cords, 2 16-inch cords with the same size tips, and you can use fixed. You don't have to use interchangeables. If you happen to have 2 of that size because you use them a lot, just use 2. So I'm like, why did I never think of this?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if anyone else does this. I haven't seen or heard of anyone else doing this. But,
That's a cool idea.
This was really cool. And then it's just, you don't have to worry about it being too tight.
Aha moment.
Yeah.
Aha.
So I'm doing that a lot from now on. So that's why I wanted to show. I had the needles kicking around and dropping them repeatedly because I wanted to talk about that. And like, these aren't even the same length. No. But when I do the chunky ones, I happen to have like the 8 millimeters. I have 2 8 millimeter needle sets, and they're fixed. They're bamboo. They're fixed. One's fixed. One's my interchangeables, and it's just really tight trying to knit with them, even before the decrease. Yeah. So I started doing that, and I've been doing it on every hat. So there you go. There's a tip, a knitting tip. You learned something today, and if you're already doing it, good for you. And you should have told me sooner. So yeah, love that. Okay, now.
Alrighty then.
Whips.
Whips. Well, I have my socks.
You're knitting socks.
Those. I'm knitting socks. I have another pair. And one thing I want to do is I want to try and finish some of my old whips before I buy or start a new one.
And these are all socks. You didn't start these recently. These are socks
these have been like in a bag for like a year.
Yeah.
So I have to do that. But I'm still working on my gray and white sweater. I kind of had to put it down. I got the yarn from Pearl Soho. It's the Uncomplicated by Alicia.
We showed that a while ago.
We did. I had
because you were busy with Christmas stuff.
Christmas knitting, right?
Yeah.
So I had to put those away. What else? That's pretty much it. Oh, and I do have to do that boxy for my mom.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
No, we'll talk about that later.
I have for whips. I'm almost done the last pair of yoga socks.
Yeah.
So I'm just at the split for the heel.
Okay.
Which is actually a little better than halfway. So here's one that's finished, and this is in Knit Picks. I believe it's Stroll fingering in the Vancouver colorway, which I love.
I love that shot.
Love it. That
shot of turquoise.
That turquoise.
What do you call it?
This one's turquoise. This looks like true turquoise, like if you had turquoise jewelry. Yeah. And I have had this out in the daylight. So I made another pair of yoga socks last year for friends, and I was knitting on the beach with it. And this in the sunlight, this turquoise glows. Beautiful. It is beautiful. So beautiful colorway, and I'm almost done those. And I'm really late getting those done because they're not for me; they're for someone else. And then I, with that cold snap we had, like over Christmas and after Christmas, on a previous episode, I showed the tubular hat that I made for my son out of the Misty Alpaca.
That.
Loves it. He still loves it. He's wearing it today, even though it's warm enough today.
I know, right?
Yeah. So with that cold snap, I still have balls left of the different colors, and I thought I'm going to make him a neck tube. So I'm just doing 2x2 rib, and I'm going to knit it. I still think,
like a turtleneck.
I think it's too small. It'll be. I wanted to just fill it. Okay, he's only 11 and he's skinny. I know, but I'll block it, and it's 50 alpaca. Still. I know. So I'm gonna do it twice as long, and then fold it inside. And I did a provisional cast on, and I'm just gonna Kitchener it. So just random striping, and this is using the Misty Alpaca Tonos worsted, and it's 50 alpaca,
over his head.
50 merino. It'll go over his head.
And that's fine.
But it won't be too tight. Just when it's really cold, he does like to play outside. He loves the snow because he misses it from when we lived in Manitoba. And they do go out for recess, and his coat comes up high, but it's just not. There's a gap, right? So that way, and because he loves the alpaca.
Now you're gonna have to look up how to do the Kitchener stitch with.
I have done Kitchener stitch.
Good job! I am so proud of you.
It is possible. If you didn't know that, look on YouTube. And it tells you how to do it. I've done it on ribbing. I can't remember what.
I don't know what it is, but it was
why or what I did it on, but I did do it. So these are just the colors I had left. There's a few different colors here and they totally match his snowsuit, so it's perfect.
Good job.
And I dropped another needle because that's what I do.
That's the day.
So and that. Oh, I haven't talked about bags. This was in one of my bags.
Yepper.
Big. It's nice and big. This was a bigger one. I did talk about that bag.
Yep.
I had my my Phaedra hat in this bag, and I showed this in our last episode. This is from my needle crafts. So Cheryl at my needle crafts, and I'll put her address up on the screen. She makes beautiful bags. And we did a bag swap just before Christmas, so I'm still using it because even though it's Christmas stuff, because I just got it, and it's so cute, and it's such a nice bag.
Do you know what? I had a girlfriend. She used her Christmas ones all through the year.
Yeah,
but they only had Christmas presents in them.
Oh, that's a good idea. So I could do that.
Yeah.
Good thinking, Lisa.
Because I have ones that...
and then that's my Christmas name.
I have a zigzag stitches one with mittens all over it.
Awesome.
And there's always a pair of mittens on the go.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jack's Cowl, I'm giving the 9-inch socks. I always write NIN. It looks like 9-inch nails. I'm not a fan so much.
Really?
9-inch needles. I'm giving them another try. With socks for Jack, because he's not as finicky about fit as I am. But when I first tried them, and I mentioned this several episodes ago,
I don't like them.
I tried it on the Kabasi, and my gauge was out to lunch. Like, it was so big. And I like fairly snug socks. So he is not as
particular.
No, and he loves knitted socks. So
imagine
I've got some Croy in kind of like this chartreusey green and grays.
That reminds me of that game they play, Minecraft.
Yeah, he has Minecraft socks in the bright green.
Yeah,
so it's okay, and actually the gauge is going okay this time. Maybe it was just the Kabasi yarn. Oh, but I had more stitches because I was doing it for me. So this is just 50. I do 56 stitches for him, a 2x2 rib, and I'm just gonna do. I may do the rib all the way down, or maybe I'll switch to. No, you know what? I want to try. Stocking stitch with these needles, so I will do both ways because I can't do the pearls. When I wrap, it keeps slipping off. So I definitely will flip to stocking stitch.
Very cool.
And these
are your stitch marker.
These are Addie's. Where is it? See how handy those little things are. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm not gonna be too faithful in knitting it. Well, you know what I should though, so that I get used to them.
See, I don't like them. They hurt. The way that I hold them.
I hold them very tense.
Hurt my hands.
Yeah, and I was knitting them the other night, and I found I was trying to consciously loosen my grip so that my hand wouldn't get sore. I find I get really sore in here, and actually my massage therapist has had to. When I was doing all those hats right before the craft show, she was working on that for me. So I think those are the only two. I have other WIPs.
Those are the only two things.
I have a pile of WIPs, as a lot of us do, and as Lisa mentioned, she has. So related to our WIP discussion, we are going to launch a couple of KALs, but let's talk about the WIP KAL first.
Let's talk about the game first.
No, because we'll talk about KAL first, and then why. Yeah. So we're gonna do a Whip It Real Good KAL, and the criteria are.
Sorry, I just can't stop.
That's can't touch this.
How does it go?
Whip it real good.
And then they have the do. Yeah. Anyways,
we're not.
We are not.
We'll stick to knitting. So the criteria will be it has to be a WIP that you started in 2017 or before. So if you just started something in January, I mean that is a WIP, but not for this KAL. Okay.
This is the whole point.
This is older WIPs.
To get your old WIPs
Let's clean
done.
Up. Yeah.
It has to have collected dust.
We're gonna run it until the end of March, so we can do a 3-month blitz on getting your WIPs done.
Yep.
If you have done that already with a WIP, an older WIP that you finished in 2018 already before you saw our podcast, so if you've finished something in the last 2 weeks since January 1, so finishes since January 1, but started before January 1. How's that? Started in 2017.
Yeah.
That was a WIP, not just something new that you bought yarn for. So.
I mean, part of the thing is, I know we all have them.
We all have them.
Yeah.
Well, except
the monogamous
our
ones.
friend Barb.
Yeah.
Barb is one of the most organized knitters I know, because she does not have a huge stash, and she decides on a project and buys the yarn for it and knits
does it.
And she knits pretty much faithfully. She may have a sock on the go at the same time, but that's it. And she's always finishing stuff. But then because she is actually only knitting those things. So maybe I would finish more too if I like the hats, right?
Yeah.
I finished them because they're quick. So we both have WIPs going on. So Whip It Real Good, we'll be putting that in our Ravelry group, and like I said, anything older that you have finished after January 1, and we'll run it till the end of March.
Yay!
Related to that, we want to have a little fun.
Yes, so we've decided to do a little bit of a game, and everybody can join in. We're going to start a thread, and we're going to take 2 of our WIPs and take a picture, and we're going to identify, for example, this is WIP A. If you want me to finish WIP A, press love. If you want me to finish WIP B, press educational, or whichever you identify.
We'll put the instructions in.
You can identify. So what we want people to do is basically decide for us which WIP we're going to do, because sometimes when you're looking at all your WIPs, they get kind of overwhelming.
You don't know where to start. So our Ravelry group members get to vote on which WIP. Yeah. And you can all do this. It's not just us.
Everyone can do it. Everybody can throw 2 things on there and get people to vote. Yeah. We just thought it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. So if you can put 2 pictures in the same post and then just put your instructions, click, like we said, we'll put it in there, but click agree if you want me to do this one, click interesting if you want me to do this one. Yeah. So if you've never posted in a Ravelry group, we'll tell you how to do that later on. Yep. But what you do is you add a picture, and then under your comment there are a bunch of different buttons that people can click. So there's love, agree, disagree, interesting, educational. So just identify your 2 WIPs and say, if you want this one, vote by clicking this, and if you want B, vote for clicking this. Yeah. And then give it a day or 2, and whichever one gets more votes, then I'm going to do this. So I'm going to start us off. And I'll show you the WIPs I'm going to do. I have 2 really old WIPs. So the first one is kind of a poncho type one that I started over a year ago, called L'Envelope. L'Envelope. So this is how it looks, and it's kind of got this neat crossover feature, okay? It is by Sally Melville. And like I said, started this a long time ago.
You did. I think that's more than a year ago.
I'm close to being done. I know I'm about 3/4 of the way. And so it has to be kind of sewn up. So showing you this isn't gonna, but this is how much I have done. Lots, okay? And it's in the Rowan wool.
Nope, the Rowan pure wool, or what's it called?
Rowan pure wool worsted.
Yep, and it's a superwash.
And it's kind of an eggplant purple color. Okay. So this is going to be one of mine that you can vote on for me to finish.
That is actually fairly old.
That's really old.
That's really old.
I started it in 2016.
Are you sure it was 2016? Because I think that you guys got that the first time we went to Kitchener.
Yeah, but I didn't start it till December, January. So it might be it's in my Ravelry project how old it is. And then the other one,
I love it,
which also happens to be an eggplant purple, but very different. Okay, this is called the bias loop cowl, I believe. I'll put it on the screen.
That's
it's a mohair.
Church mouse knits,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Super easy. And
you're knitting with air though.
Oh my gosh. It's here, stretch this out. Look how much I have to. Where did I join? Somewhere. Right here. So I started my second ball, so I'm more than halfway. And it's just big and loose, and then there's a provisional cast on.
You can see.
Okay, we're being silly. There's a provisional cast on, and so when you get to the end of your yarn, you're going to just sew it up, Kitchener it, not sew it up, and then you can double, like wear it double around you can drop it down around your shoulders, or just a big loose scarf,
nice.
Whatever. And it takes 50 grams of like Kid Silk Haze or something similar. Yeah. So the Rowan Kid Silk Haze comes in 25 gram balls, so 2 of them.
But you know what? That stuff is like knitting with air.
This is all
you never get anywhere.
This is all I have left, but there's a crap ton of yarn in these balls. I know. And the other thing too is
I love it.
I should really be using bamboo because it slides off these slippery needles. If you're knitting with mohair, metal is probably not a good needle choice because it just the needles are heavier too, right? So they fall out easy. So I've got a nice big cord so that it doesn't slip out as much. But you just knit. It's garter stitch. So it's easy. And I have picked it up recently. Like I picked it up last year and was working on it. But then put it down again because I was in no hurry. But I want to get these off the needles. So that's my option 2. Okay. So I'll be putting that. I'll be our first entry, and I'll put that in the, it'll be just a chat thread. And then whatever WIP you're working on, you can, when you finish it, you can put it in our KAL.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
so that kind of ties together.
And the WIP it real good. So they're related, right?
Yeah.
So something to motivate us to get these WIPs done.
I get the feeling that those 2 projects are related.
You know, it's the purple.
No, I'm thinking the same person inspired you.
Who?
Dale.
Oh yeah. Both of these. You're right. Our friend Dale. We both decided to do envelope after we went to the Kitchener show. And then
yeah,
she has made this and had bought yarn to make another one, and I decided to do that too. But that's how you get your ideas, right?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which WIP should I WIP? And WIP it real good.
Yeah.
Then we are also going to start a sweater weather KAL.
Because it's sweater weather where we are.
It's gotten so darn cold.
It is freezing.
Yeah. So
I have to do a boxy for my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do that.
Fingering or worsted?
Fingering.
It's going to take, well, you knit fast. And you've knit boxy before.
Yep. So I'll do that.
Awesome. And I'm going to knit the flax sweater for my son.
Now, I might, if I get something is in London, if I get that, I'll knit that.
Okay.
You know that.
You might knit another sweater.
Yeah.
She's got some yarn.
I have some yarn I have to pick up, and it's, yeah.
So then we can show that the next episode. So, sweater weather KAL was the whole point of this detour. And any sweater, not a languishing WIP, because there's a WIP KAL for that. So any new sweater started after, I think we said after Christmas. Or do you want to do January?
We can do January.
Started from January 1, and we're going to try and end it at the end of February. So if you're doing a sweater in 2 months, and any sweater,
I have to write that down.
You don't want to be too tight with the rules. Just any sweater other than new. So a new knit.
Size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter for this. And and yeah, so we'll put that up in the Ravelry group, and you'll be able to join that. We also have the Canadian pillow along. Okay, so I started mine.
I didn't,
and this was a good lesson for me. There's some helpful information here.
All sorts of it.
I wanted to do the blue nose, the sailboat. So just to give you, I've got it open to the page. Okay, so that's it there. Yep. Okay, and the instructions were for an Afghan square, and their squares were all, I believe, 60 stitches to make a 12-inch square. So I have pillows in my living room that are just a nice size, but I measured them. They're 16-inch. So I thought, okay, I want to do this a 16-inch.
They're really nice because those are the ones I
She usually sits on them for height, which we didn't do today. We're having a tall day.
I am.
Or maybe I'm just slouching. So what I did is a gauge swatch. Louise from Fiber Friends, who is a knitting teacher, is always touting gauge swatches, and she's quite pleased with me when I told her my gauge swatch experience. So I did a gauge swatch, okay? And I did it like the pillow, so there is some seed stitch border. I did it back and forth, I knit flat.
You can use it as a coaster.
And I blocked it. Or did I? It doesn't look blocked. No, maybe I didn't on this one. So with the needle I used, so their recommended gauge is 20 stitches on a 4mm needle. I know I knit loose, so I went down to a 3.5. I believe the green is 3.5. So I did my gauge swatch on 3.75mm because I know I knit a little bit loose, and I got gauge 20 stitches to 4 inches. So that's their recommended gauge. So I knew that that would give me a 12-inch pillow. Yep. So then I thought, okay, to make a 16-inch pillow, I need to figure out what I need to do here. I've never done this before, so this was fun. So I actually made myself notes about how I wanted to add stuff. I drew a picture of the number of stitches and the border. So basically, the chart, the pattern allows for a seed stitch border, 5 rows. Yep. And then it has the chart for the image. Yeah. Okay. So the chart is a certain number of stitches, and I had to figure out, based on my gauge, how many stitches do I have to add to get the extra inches on each side. So I drew a picture and did some math and figured it out. And okay. Also with the I haven't assessed every image in this book. With the blue nose, as you can see, the sailboat, right to the edge. The sailboat goes right to the edge of the pillow, of the flat area, right, of your image area, and then the border. So it goes right to the border. So I wanted my, I didn't want it to wrap around the edges of a pillow because this was initially written for an Afghan, right? So I needed to add like white space around the sailboat as well. So I didn't want to add all like 4 inches of border. I wanted white space. Good thinking. So I had to do those calculations, and because she's good at math, stitch count and row height are different. So in my 4-inch gauge, 20 stitches and 27 rows. So you can't just add like 5 rows and 5 stitches. It's not the same. You need more rows. So I did that math as well, figured out how many stitches and how many extra rows of just the blank space around. So it's going really well. So, and I kept my notes so I'd remember what I did and how I did it. So this is good. I should have steam blocked this. That's okay. Can you hold one side? So this is, you can see the sailboat taking shape there. It has garter stitch all the way around. And then this is so cool. Check this out. Okay, I'm too short for that. I know. See how the sail, it's not just stocking stitch. It's just a slightly different textured. I'm not going to give away the details of the pattern, but it's a slightly different textured stitch, and I love it. It just looks really neat. It almost looks like waffly, right? It looks like you know the underwear, the long underwear that kind of has that. Yeah. Thermal underwear. It kind of has that look, but I love it. That's so cool. I decided for the back panel. Initially, I was going to make a different image. Yeah. But I'm going to do the whole back panel in this inside the seed border. That'll be really nice. Yeah. So. It's going well. I'm using Canadiana, okay, in pale teal colorway. Peyton's Canadiana. Everyone knows this yarn, I'm sure. And because I chose to use an acrylic. Initially, I was concerned. I wasn't, like we were saying, don't use an acrylic. Like use something with at least 50% wool for stitch definition. I watched a really good video. It's a Craftsy video on steam blocking acrylic. Okay. And it was excellent, and she did demos, and it actually, it worked fairly well. So I'm going to try it on the swatch first. Okay. But you basically use a steamer. They don't recommend an iron. No. Because your iron has to be so hot to produce that steam, and there's a risk that you, I forget the word she used, but basically you burn it, you melt it, and then it gets all sort of fused. It looks like you felted it almost, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and I do have a garment steamer somewhere. I haven't used it in years. So a good garment steamer, and you can pin it out, and then you just steam it. So I'm going to try that. And awesome. Plus, because it's going to be on a pillow, it is going to be stretched a bit. So that's going to open up the stitch pattern and define those stitches. And that's good. So that's going well. I'm probably about a third of the way. The front side, then I have to do the back. And yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that.
We also talked about how to do the back, whether you're going to keep it connected or whether you're going to keep it...
Oh yeah, that was your idea. Yeah. So initially I was just going to do the 2 squares. Yep. And then you suggested...
that you can knit either...
When I get to the top.
When you get to the top, you can knit some more. Or pick up stitches and knit at the bottom so you can wrap it around. So it's like kind of like a long piece, and then you can...
And fold it in half.
Yeah.
And then I only have to sew the sides.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure yet which way I'm going to do it. But that just saves... You hate sewing.
I hate sewing.
So I'm like, I already have to sew 2
and you know
what?
Like it's one of those things, if you do, you have to take into account because you should actually put a false seam there.
Yeah.
That's probably what I should...
Which on seed stitch...
would be a purl.
Just do a purl row? Yeah. So I haven't decided. I have a bit more time to decide that. So that was our other KAL. Then there's one other KAL that we're not running, but we are going to be joining. And it kicks off on Monday, January 15th.
Oh, I wish you shouldn't have said that. I'm in trouble now.
Not to start this. Yeah. But we're following the rules, and we're not going to cast on until Monday, January 15th. So this is the tubular scarf. Knit Sister tubular scarf shawl.
Yeah.
Tubular scarf. Knit Sister tubular scarf.
Say it 4 times fast.
Well, I'm going to cut out all the ones I said wrong. Okay. So this is the Knit Sister tube scarf by Adrian Sauter. And this is, it's just stripes of all kinds of colors.
Yeah.
So she gives you she tells you like kind of how much yardage you need. Yep. This is an awesome stash buster. So if you do this and use stash yarn, right? Mm-hmm. We were going to do a stash busting KAL too, weren't we?
We were.
Do we want to do that too?
Yeah, might as well.
Let's go nuts.
Yeah.
Get okay.
Busters, man.
We're going to do another KAL, a stash busting KAL. So anything that you start, a new start that uses stash.
Yeah.
Okay. So WIPs are old projects. So, so this will be any new start where you use stash yarn, where you didn't go out and buy yarn just for that project.
And the reason we're doing it is because of this.
Because of this. Because not everyone's going to go and buy, 20 colors.
Different colors.
Yeah. So you can use your stash. You can use leftovers.
Do you know what? That'd be really good for leftover sock yarn.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine all those different stripes?
Because it is fingering weight.
Well, even if you use self-striping.
Yeah.
Most of your self-striping will coordinate.
Yeah. So
yours would all be blue.
I don't think we said the Fiber Friends podcast. Mine wouldn't be all blue. The Fiber Friends podcast are starting this and hosting this KAL.
Yeah.
And this is Adrian's pattern, who's one of the Fiber Friends.
Yep.
And it's like a very inexpensive pattern on Ravelry. Mm-hmm. And it starts on Monday. So check out this pattern. It's just a big knit tube. And we, in our last episode, talked about the gift from Adrian for Christmas. So we were very lucky that you didn't bring yours, that's okay.
No, I forgot it.
She gave us...
You. That is so
I know, because
smart.
I'm planning.
You are so smart.
She gave us kits that she dyed for this. So I'm putting my big chunky needles to use here. I started kind of trying to organize like order, and this isn't final. But I'm going to throw in... Like this was a skein I have left over from Jack's hat.
Okay.
Right? So and this is a little wee bit of the Canatera Beach, which has the brown and the blue in it.
Very cool.
So I'm going to throw in some extra...
It's a party. Sorry.
Those are going to... Don't send them flying. Oh, and then this is one of the ones that Verena gave me. That's got gray and pinks. So I'm going to put that in between those. So what do you think? I'm going to add in a few other scraps and leftovers that I have.
I may not do that.
Well, okay, what my plan is, I may make it a little bit wider because I'm going to be adding in more.
Take this from me. I'm having too much fun with it.
So I was looking at this the other day and planning my colors. So just don't swing it around. So these are colors from Adrian as well as a few I've added.
Okay, I see what you're doing. You're putting the
I just sort of put them between where they match.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that one's really nice.
With the gold.
I'm sorry.
You gotta hold this up.
Look at these 3.
I know. Isn't that perfect? Because this one has gold in it.
The colors that
right there.
Adrian has put in her new line, eh?
These are, yeah, she is dyeing these all as solids.
Yeah. Semi-solids. They're
semi-solids. Yeah.
Yeah. They're beautiful.
So she has all these colors available in her Etsy shop, which was Old Oak Yarns. And so the kits were just a gift to us. She's not selling the kits.
Yeah.
But like
only
we said,
5 kits made.
Sock yarn, stash bust, and you'll be able to put it in our stash busting knit along as well. So we'll put that in our Ravelry.
And you could really do it with any. I mean, if you
can do any weight.
Use a lot of worsted, you can do the math and figure it out yourself.
If you have a ton of worsted left, and you could even, if you have worsted, hold your fingering double.
Yeah. Or you know what else too is you could almost do it in the Doctor Who colors.
Yeah.
If you had the right.
Yeah, you could do Harry Potter theme, like whatever you want to do. Yeah. But it's just random stripes.
Yeah.
So do a couple of rows, and then when you feel like changing, change.
Yeah.
You'll have some ends to weave in. So
do it as you go.
But yeah, do it as you go, and then it's not so bad.
Or to tube, you don't really actually have to tube.
You could leave them hanging inside.
What you could do is stow the bottom up, so no one knows you've
well, no one will ever look in there anyway, unless you do the bottom ones.
Really? I'm going to look. If I ever see anybody with it, I'm going to look.
I'm gonna weave my ends in. Because I'm a kook like that. Okay.
I would.
You're gonna do yours. You're thinking of doing yours a little differently.
I am. I have a scarf that I knit eons ago.
And
it's
very similar.
Very similar. Yeah. And I did it random small stripes. So I was thinking of doing actually color blocks. Because the ones we got there's a slight variance in the colors.
Yeah.
Like, so I will start one color and knit the entire color. And then I will change colors and then I will knit the entire color. So it'll be more big blocks of color.
So do all the purple, all the green. And just...
Yeah, and then change.
That's a great idea.
And what I might do is do half of... Because the white is the one we had the most of. So I'll do half the white, and then I will do that. And then the other half, the white will be at the other end.
Awesome. Yeah, I think they're all even just...
Some of them are like 20,
some
25,
are 15. So you're not going to have like symmetrical blocks, like equal size blocks.
Exactly. So
really cool.
Neat. And then I think then I get a really good idea of the colors too, right? So yeah.
So we're so excited to start that. So again, you need to go to the Fiber Friends podcast Ravelry group,
watch theirs,
and watch them and join their KAL. And then if you're using Stash, it can be in our Stash busting knit along as well. You can double enter. That was it for KALs.
Okay.
So we're almost done here. Podcasts. We're watching.
We're watching Espace Tricot.
We have started watching Espace Tricot. That is a yarn shop in Montreal, Canada. And the ladies who do the podcast are the owners of the store. Yep. The store is called Espace Tricot, and which is French for basically knitting space. We really like their podcast because being a yarn shop, first of all, they have lots of yarn to show. They show new products that they found.
Actually, I like the products too.
Yeah, like lots of neat gadgets and knitting tools that they have found.
Did you see that tassel tool they had? That was
so cool.
Neat. Yeah.
So they show that kind of stuff, and they show a ton of
finished
samples and finished projects, because not just their own personal knitting, but they have knitters who knit samples for their store.
Yeah.
So they show a lot, and they knit with the yarn they sell. So if you want to know, if you see something, you can buy it from them, and they have a great online store. So that is a great podcast we just started watching, and she came over and we watched. They have episode 4, because I probably will watch it again. Episode 4 is I think it was episode 4.
I think so.
It's a store tour, and their shop is beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to go to Montreal, put that on your must-see list. Yeah. So, Espace Tricot.
I would love to.
I may have mentioned some of these before. I'm going to mention them again. These are, for me, the recent ones I've started watching. So, Faking Sanity, I've been watching for a couple months. 2 ladies in Dawson Creek, BC. Yep. Is it BC or Alberta? BC.
I don't remember.
I think they're at the start of the Alaskan Highway, they said. So, I think it's Dawson Creek, BC. They're really nice to watch. They show a lot of knitting and yarn. Mama in a Mouse is one I started watching. She's in Nebraska, and she's just really nice. She's just getting going, so check her out, please. She has a good podcast. She shows a lot of knitting, and she is a busy mama, and her most recent episode that I watched, she was teaching her kids to knit, and they were doing good. She's got 4 kids. So 4 or 5. But yeah, she's teaching her kids to knit, which is
That's
fantastic.
awesome.
And then also Hand Me My Knitting. She's in BC. She's been podcasting for a while, but I just discovered her, so I've watched some of her episodes. And Never Cast Off, which is one in Illinois or Michigan.
Okay.
No, Michigan. So when we mentioned in our last episode that we went on, well, we were actually going to Dave & Buster's, but we sort of happened to find a yarn shop.
Just happened to find
the Crafty Lady Trio.
Yep.
They commented that they wish they'd known they would have gotten together with. So they have a podcast that I hadn't heard of. And so I've been checking them out.
Okay.
And they live,
They're
somewhere
like right
near
in
there.
our
They would have been able to meet up with us. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
if we do a road trip to that whole Utica area where they're...
I think if we just did a road trip in
There's a number of yarn shops
Michigan,
we
we
could
could
go to.
meet up with them.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe that'll work out sometime. So that's another... Never Cast Off is another podcast I've been watching. And... yeah, I think those are the podcasts I wanted to watch. You know what we did when we went to Crafty Lady Trio? We didn't buy a whole lot, but we didn't show what we did buy.
No, we didn't.
So you brought your stuff today. I didn't even tell you about that, and I brought my stuff, or found my stuff.
Well, we bought the same stuff, didn't we?
Yeah, I bought a little bit of yarn, which I'm not going to show. It was just the Barocco vintage, because I don't see that much anymore, and I'm sort of accumulating some to do. I have a shawl project in mind.
Okay.
So show yours.
So basically, I have this little number here.
Oh yeah, you're wearing it.
I'm wearing it.
Mine.
It's right. I thought it was.
It was.
Anyways,
okay. Well,
what it is basically it's a leather button. See, there we go.
so these are by Jewel, jeweldesigns.com, and a lot of shops are carrying them now. Okay, this is one of, I don't even know how many designs she has. There's small ones, big ones.
About 3 or 4.
Yeah, all kinds of different fasteners.
I like, you know what? Not a lot of people in town carry it in the black.
There's a chocolate
But
brown.
I don't wear brown, so I had to get the black.
Yeah.
So I got the black, and it's kind of neat because it just kind of, it's like you can use it as a shawl pin, and it just screws on and off at the back.
So basically,
yeah,
it's almost like a nut and bolt type idea. So there's a piece that comes apart.
And she actually makes some
small
like
enough,
washer. Some that are small enough to be used as buttons.
Mm-hmm.
I would like those.
The cool thing about this is you can move it to different projects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it does come apart,
but
and it's fairly secure.
Yeah,
because it screws in.
If you had them for buttons, there's a tab on the back and there's a tab on the front, so it doesn't actually go through your knitting. Like if you look here, I don't know if you can see. See how you can see the tab there? So it doesn't actually pull through.
Like a washer.
Yeah.
So it protects your knitting, so it's not going to pull. And then this is on the back side.
Your husband would be so proud you know what a washer is.
Okay, funny story of the podcast. This was years ago. 15 years ago. We had bought our first house in Winnipeg. And this thing was like a Crayola box of paint jobs. And shortly after we bought our house, my mom was going to be coming to stay with us in the city because she was having some surgery, and so we were fixing up the spare room as a first priority. The purple, the lilac purple living room with raspberry carpet did not get fixed for like a year. Yeah, seriously. If I can find a picture, I'm gonna put a picture up.
Oh my gosh.
So anyways, we did the spare room because it really badly, it was like there was chips in the wall and it needed to paint them. So we put in a new light fixture because they had those, you know, the ones that look like boobies? Like they're just the round things with the big knob in the middle. We call them booby lights.
Really, I call them nipple lights.
Isn't that really mature? Oh yeah, that too. Booby lights. So we put in like a nicer light fixture, and we had painted. And so my husband was up on the ladder
holding the light, putting it up.
Never reads instructions, right? Just MacGyver's everything.
Wait, doesn't he have the word engineer in his
when it comes to the helicopter, he's very good about reading instructions because legally he has to. Anything he fixes at home. So he's up there, like putting the light fixture up, and it's not, whatever, he's having trouble. So I'm standing on the ground holding parts, and I've got the instructions, and I'm like, the nut has to go on the bottom. And, you know, I said it first time nicely. The nut has to go on the bottom, and I'm holding the instructions. And he's like, and I'm like, the nut has to go on the bottom. And then he's like, you know, whatever. And then finally, I'm like, my voice is getting louder. I'm like, the nut has to go on the bottom. I've got the instructions right here. And he looks down from the ladder. He's like, it's not a nut. It's a bolt. Well, whatever. Clearly you knew what I was talking about. So anyways, he was doing it wrong, and I got the part named wrong, but I knew the instructions. So I don't usually fix things. Like, because if you tell me what's a Phillips screwdriver, I'll be like, I don't know, who's Philip? Just tell me the shape, because that's, you know.
Is he coming over to fix it?
The other thing that we both bought is a tin of this lotion bar by Love and Leche. Love and Leche. If you were French, you'd say Leche. Like La Leche League. And its tagline
gorgeous.
is heal, soothe, soften, moisturize. So it's a lotion bar, and
it's kind of cute.
They have different scents.
Mine is
so
mint
you can just
lavender.
see it in here. It's got like it's
upside down.
It's like two sheep. Oh.
You got two sheep.
I'm like, what is that picture of? Two sheep. Cute.
So all you have to do basically is you take it out and you just rub it on your hands, but I can't.
Yeah, it's like a really super thick salve. So I bought citrus rose.
And I bought lavender mint.
Really nice.
I also bought...
Oh,
you know why
I'll put the
mine's so
website up,
soft?
but it's loveandlush.com.
Mine's so soft because it's by your computer.
It's warm? You got a little mini.
I got a little mini
in lemongrass. And I would have bought one too, but she got the last one because I love lemongrass. Yeah, and this isn't all over. So, and it's all natural ingredients. So yeah, kind of like is it Tough Woolens that does something
I think
similar?
so, yeah.
So yeah, so we picked those up and we quite love them. And I haven't seen these anywhere in Canada, but you can get them online. And those were the only things we bought at Craft
that was
Lady Tree.
Yeah.
We weren't going on a yarn crawl when you go to Dave and Buster's, like you almost spend a mortgage payment there. So,
right.
It was we had plans for our money that day. I think that's it. I think we're done.
We are all done. That's all she wrote.
If we've forgotten something, we'll be back.
I know.
And yeah, so we'll get these KALs kicking off, and I'm looking forward to see what people
comment. I want to see what
me to finish.
Yeah, the votes, but I'd also
are you
going to
do it too?
Yeah.
You're going to put up something?
Yeah, I got to go dig them out. I'm also looking for everybody's comments on YouTube. So that'll be really good.
Yes, don't forget, enter our 1,000 subscriber giveaway by commenting below. If you have not subscribed, if you're watching YouTube, you probably by now know about subscribing. But below the video screen, on your screen, whatever device you're watching on, usually right below, there's a subscribe button. And if you click that, then you can actually go into your subscriptions in YouTube. And so if it's actually kind of handy because if you quickly want to go, watch a podcast, you can go to your subscription list and quickly find it.
It also tells you when a new one's up.
And it'll show, I think mine has a red dot beside it that says, oh, there's something new. And there's also an option to, I think looks like a little bell icon. And if you click that, then it will notify you when that channel posts something new. So it is handy, and it just helps you keep organized in your YouTube viewing. I think that's all. Just thanks again. Thanks so much for watching us. There are so many podcasts out there, and it's wonderful because there is something for everyone. And like we subscribe to so many. It's I don't have cable anymore. I'll just go find something to watch on YouTube and find a podcast. And yeah, we appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
We'll
Talk to you
later.
soon.
Happy knitting.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. No, that sounded terrible.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Mrs. Brown's Boys. No, do you remember there was, what was her name? There was a guy, this is probably like 15 years ago, dressed up in like glamorous old lady drag and would be on TV shows.
Actually, no, he had his own TV
a
talk show.
Talk show. Who was it?
I don't remember.
But
you have to look it up.
It's like, hello, Poppins.
Hello, Poppins. How are you?
I can't remember the name. Okay, that was funny. All right, let's try this again.